Guys, how you doing? Welcome to another episode. I am fortunate enough to have two guys who are joining me here. You've all seen George Diamond Yards. How you doing, George?
Doing great. How you doing, James?
And welcome, first time, Vince, NY Yanks fan 7. How you
Welcome,
doing, Vince?
I'm doing good. Thanks for having me on.
I want to congratulate you because you're a Hall of Fame member now to YouTube. Long time coming, but congratulations on that. How does that feel?
It feels good. What can I say? You get recognized, and I got surprised myself. The number of people that voted for me. I think I mentioned this in the acceptance video, but no, it's good. People like what I do. I'll keep doing it. So.
Well, it was a long time coming for both of you, actually. So, it's a big deal that everyone is voicing their opinion and electing you guys, and you deserve it. So,
yeah.
The reason why I have you guys here is because, me and George were having a conversation one night, and we were talking about what appeals to us in a card. So rather than keep that conversation to ourselves, we figured we'll just discuss it with you guys. So we're going to try to break down the feel of a card, the look of a card, because everyone has their own likes and dislikes, their own niche, their own feel to what they tend to gravitate to. And that's what makes us unique as collectors. And what we try to do with this theme is basically no names, no basically price tag to it, no rarity, no scarcity, just basically if there's no grade involved, no name involved, any of that, when you look at the card, it's just like blows you away. You constantly stare at it whenever you pick it up. That's basically what I want to find out, what moves you about the card. So you ready for this, Vince?
As ready as I'll ever be, James.
So being that you're the newbie here, I guess I want to ask you first, is there a specific set that you tend to gravitate to?
Well, I would say that maybe my favorite set, appearance-wise, all time is '85 Donruss baseball set. Just like those black borders, like the photography. It was so unobtainable for me around the time of issue. You never saw Donruss in stores where I lived in the Northeast. So I'd only see the pictures of the cards in the Beckett magazine. Maybe some kid at school had a couple of them. But I just always liked the '85 Donruss set. Tonight, what I have here is essentially cards that I just like the look of for one reason or another. Surprisingly, or maybe not so, I don't have any Mickey Mantle cards in the stack of cards I brought to the table here. So if you want me to get going, this may surprise you, but here is a card that I bought because I just like the way this card looks. And it is a 73 Topps Vita Blue. And I just really like this guy, ready to throw this down, whoever is hitting, and just like this card. I like the combination of the border design with the photography here. And fun fact, Vita Blue almost was a Yankee, but the commissioner of baseball, I think Bowie Kuhn at the time, overturned the Charlie Finley, one of the A's, or the owner of the A's, to try to sell off Vita Blue and a couple other of his major stars before losing to free agency. And the Yankees were going to buy his contract, but the commissioner stepped in and overturned it, so he never became a Yankee. It was 1976, I believe. So anyway, my first card tonight is the 73 Topps. Just love that card.
I got to tell you something. I agree. That's an awesome card. I love that set. It's awesome. I have a friend and a colleague, and he and his family, he's much older than I am. When he was a teenager, about that time period, his family had a dry cleaners. And the dry cleaners was around where the spring training facility was for the A's in Phoenix. And so Vita Blue would come in and get his dry cleaning from this dry cleaners. And my buddy, who was like 17 at the time, used to talk to him all the time, and he had nothing but nice things to say, that he was such a nice guy. And that's just a great card, Vince. I love it. I have along those lines, James, like for example, 73 bench. I grabbed 373 cards as well, Vince, because this set is just so cool. The action shots. This Rose, it's his MVP year, and I always wondered what happened here. What is he doing? Did he foul a ball off? I don't know. And then I know, Vince, you like this one too. And I know, James, you'll like this. Thurman Munson.
Thurman Munson. There you go.
So.
And,
what a coincidence.
It's coincidental because we all gravitate to this is not orchestrated. This is what I'm going to tell each and every one out there watching this. This is not orchestrated, but I guess we're all like-minded. 73, for instance, with this one, a picture tells 1,000 words. I mean, to me, Steve Carlton is one of the ace of this era. And you could tell the catcher just had a meeting with him. So he's probably in a jam. It's probably the 8th inning, and they're trying to figure out what's left in the tank. But there's more you get out of a picture like this, even though it's not an action shot. But there's so much more you get out of this picture as opposed to him maybe doing a leg kick or just peering into the catcher, which those are nice too. But you don't see cards like this or a picture like this. And the 73 set also is, for me, one of my favorite sets because there's so many action shots like that. Here's another one, Roberto Clemente. And you get it all there. You got even the umpire's mask peering in to see if it's going to be a strike or ball. And I just look at the picture per se, and it just blows me away. That set has some beautiful, beautiful, beautiful cards. So is there another set other than the 73 and the 85? And George, I believe you told me 85 is one of your favorites also.
Yeah, I think 85 is a great year. I mean, what a great year for baseball. And we had, frankly, my least favorite of the 85 sets is the top set. It's like the cheapest. Just it's unimaginative. I mean, other than the Olympic cards, but in my opinion, I mean, you have some of the rookies, but most of the rookies, but it's just like, it's very, if you open packs at the time, and you guys did, that those cards were just terribly miscut. They were like, there's wax stains on them, and they were just, the pictures didn't pop, but there was a set that did, along with Vince's Donruss set, and Donruss is so tough. I mean, that black border, that's really tough. But this one, and this is my favorite Don Mattingly card, 85 Fleer. I mean, it's the blue on the black jersey. It's the batting stance. I feel like when we were growing up, you didn't get a chance to see the guys all the time. I look in the box scores and stuff, but you didn't have a chance to see your players. Sometimes you didn't even know what their batting stances were unless you watched This Week in Baseball or something. Now, if you lived in New York, it was different because you guys saw Mattingly all the time. But if you lived out here in Phoenix and you liked Mattingly or any of those guys, it's like, you're like, this is like, oh, wow, cool. That's a really cool, batting stance pose. He's just getting ready to, it looks to me right here like he's getting ready to start squatting to coil down, when he's going to get an outside pitch and drive it off a left field wall. But anyway, so I thought this Fleer set was really cool, 85 with Mattingly and Gooden, and just a fantastic set.
Right.
Hey, was this strictly baseball cards tonight? Because I did bring a football and a basketball card to the okay.
Whatever. This is a freestyle, free for all. It's just enjoying the cards.
So yeah. Coincidentally enough, I brought mine with me too because I really like this card. In fact, I like this one better than the 71, which I think gets a lot of attention for obvious reasons.
Which one? This one?
That one. But I've always liked this one. Don't know, just something that appeals to me. Whether it's just the in-action shot and the blurred out stands in the background, and the card design itself. Probably my favorite Munson.
Yeah.
So
it's my
Munson,
favorite. Mine favorite
Munson
too.
coincidentally has a lot of great cards, whether it's like that, the action, or he has also a look about him that I just feel like if there's a photogenic about a player, he's one of them that I could say every one of his cards just has a great feel to it. Do you think there's someone photogenic for you? And I guess Griffey could be another one that you could say, or Mantle, that they're just photogenic. They don't have a bad card.
Probably Griffey.
Griffey?
Griffey Jr., yeah.
There's a Griffey card that I would say is one of my favorites, and he could probably pick these up for a quarter. But the blues. So sometimes the color in a card just does it for me. So, I mean, everything's right about this with the blues. Like you were saying with the gray and the Don Mattingly, and then it had the navy blue. For me, this one just pops. And I tend to find that I gravitate to colors, binary colors in cards. If it's a yellow, a red, or a blue, or all the colors combined in there, which is probably why I love the Diamond Star set so much. But I tend to gravitate to those cards so much more quickly. And I don't know, I never realized that till I started looking now for some cards, and I was constantly fishing out the ones. I mean, just to show another one, just this card alone, a quarter probably you find them. But it's just the red, the blues, his boyish smile. Always, always, always I love this card of Frank Thomas over his Leaf card. Any day of the week, I prefer this card. So does that happen to you where the colors sometimes gets you attracted to a card?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
For a lot of those reasons. Like that Griffey, for example. I agree with you. I have that card also. It's a great looking card. Tough card too in high grade. Just the blue borders. I mean, 90s set is a little bit polarizing in general. Some of those colors are pretty busy. But that one, that's a winner. That Griffey card is definitely a winner. Maybe the best in that set.
What's the story with this? Like there's like a scar or something that they blurred out on his, you know, I'm talking on his forearm. And if you look at it, there's a blur on his forearm, right? On yours, do you have it?
Yeah, it's a red scar. It looks like he has a strawberry or something, whatever you call those. A scrape.
There's something behind that. I don't know what it is, but like they're like.
No, you could see it. It's vividly there. I mean, I'm trying to get it close up. You could.
Yeah, on some of them they
it.
blurred it out. They like put a blob there, like almost like a print mark.
Oh, so I must have some of the early copies. I didn't know there was a difference with that one. So, if you had a set to choose from every era, what would be for the pre-war your go-to set that you're always gravitating to?
There's not a lot of cards. I don't gravitate that often to the pre-war era just because those cards are a little bit pricey, you know. But I would say pre-war, the most, I think that the 33 Gaudi, I have a couple of those, but the most from pre-war I have would be T206 probably. Okay. And that's an easy answer. I think a lot of people would say the same thing, right? So I've got about a half dozen or so Hall of Famers from that set, but I don't have very much pre-war, James. It's not easy to acquire. So, especially nowadays. So.
Hey, I gravitate to Diamond Stars, and Diamond Stars are just beautiful cards. Like I've shown this before. He's Julius Salters. You could pick this up for, who knows, $40. I don't price this card. But it's just the colors, like I said, the binary colors are there, and then it has like an action drawing, beautiful art. Whoever they hired to do the artwork for these cards, phenomenal jobs. But Diamond Stars for me does it for me. I mean, I do love the T206s and the Gaudis also and others, but there's something about the Diamond Stars that just floats my boat every time. How about you, George?
Well, this is right, I guess, the last set before you ended pre-war, which would be 41 play ball. And so I really like the Art Deco. The backgrounds are all, you know, especially the backgrounds that are these kinds of colors that are really vivid. And, you know, 40 play ball is, you know, the pictures are great. And then you compare like the Fox and the 40 play ball to this Fox, and this one looks way better to me. Unless you're a fan of black and white baseball cards, you know, like 48 Bowman suffers from that too. You know, like people don't seem to like the 48 Bowman all that much, even though there's some great cards in it. You know, like this card for play ball, again, the background, you know, just pops, and then it's got the shadow behind his head that really just creates this kind of three-dimensional image and all the shading. And I used to do a lot of drawing as a kid and just, you know, really enjoyed drawing like people and it sounds ridiculous, you know, superheroes, like we all, you know, comic books and doing all that, right? And so you're drawing, and it's like, then you start drawing like, you know, baseball players. I would do that. But for me, like 41 play ball is just a really, really cool set. I mean, I gravitate toward 33 Gaudy when I can. But, you know, T206s, I haven't gone down that rabbit hole. I've tried a few times, but like you told me, James, a while ago, I should have bought a Walter Johnson.
He's just one of the few that they're getting too pricey right now. It's hard to own them. But Vince, what else do you have? You say you had about like 16 cards there. Show us what else appeals to you when you look at it.
I really like this card. This
Nice.
is a great looking rookie card of a what could have been, you know. Eric Davis.
Beautiful.
He came up, hitting home runs, stealing bases like Willie Mays. Just a great ball player for the Reds. And then, you know, when he went to the Dodgers with Darryl Strawberry, it's free agents, I think it was probably potentially the greatest 3-4 combination that never was because of whatever, you know, issues on or off the field, health or otherwise. It just never worked out for them. But always loved this card. What a great looking rookie card. And again, the 85 Donruss set. This Eric Davis here.
And I love the way that the red on the border is picked up with, you know, his sleeves and his helmet. It's like it's just married together, you could say.
Yeah, I forgot how really cool that card is. And I also forgot, you know, like the hype. I mean, Eric Davis was out of the chute. You're like, man, if he could just hit it for a little bit more average, this guy is going to be like Willie Mays. And everybody was just totally on board with it. And that card, like, I mean, we're not talking grades much, but that's a Gem Mint 10. And to get a Gem Mint 10 on an 85 Donruss card, I bet if you cracked like 4 boxes of them, you might not find a Gem Mint 10. They're so difficult. And that card stock was so thin and it would scratch. I mean, literally, I swear to God, if I put it in the penny sleeve wrong and I'd take it out my Eric Davis, it'd have a scratch on it.
Right.
From what I'm remembering.
I love that you showed batting stance cards, George first with Donnie Baseball, and now you Eric Davis. I always think about Julio Franco for batting stances, and I love that 87 got it here. So this is one of my favorite cards of the 87 set, and it's simply because it just captured his horizontal batting stance of that bat. And I love certain cards, certain players. I love when it captures what you remember them for. So with Julio Franco, first thing everyone remembers is his batting stance.
That guy was awesome. That guy could hit.
Oh, professional hitter.
I mean, really hit.
He was one of the best DHs, like Harold Baines per se. Like just send him up there to, hey, he's gonna get you a hit.
Wasn't he invited to spring training this year by some team too?
Probably. He's like 65 and he'll probably still go 2 for 4 in a game.
Still hit.
Hey, yeah, he could probably, if he could hit 295, he'd probably be like 5th in the league in batting these days.
Yeah.
James, so along the lines of what you were saying, those cards, the sideways batting stance cards are just super cool. I mean, I noticed, like, I was thinking about a 79 Carew I have in here. It's a sideways batting stance. And this one was one I really liked, just because it's like, this is like what he does. This is what he does. Like, he's getting ready. You know, you've seen him wind up like that so many times, you know, and the defense is in trouble, man. The pitcher's in trouble. But the sideways batting stance cards, I just think are so neat.
Right. I have a card, now that we're on batting stances, that, let me look for it real quick. You know the MLB logo? Everyone knows the MLB logo. It's the guy. This card, for whatever reason, looks like maybe the next shot of him about to swing. And that's what I love about this card right here. It's Joey Votto. And it looks like it's the MLB logo coming to life with a swing. And for whatever reason, I love this card because it just looks like a continuation of that logo. And I don't know, there's certain cards that just like evoke these emotions. And that's what this does for me. This one horizontal pick of him. It's like that MLB logo came to life.
Well, I think the MLB logo is Harmon Killebrew, isn't it?
Oh,
I thought it was an outline of Harmon Killebrew, unless I could be wrong, but
really?
Or maybe it used to be. I don't know.
I would have to look that up and find out. So
I'm sure somebody in the comments will be like, "Shut the hell up, George. You're wrong."
I got the 73 Harmon Killebrew right here. Is that him?
That's it.
That's it right there.
It looks like it, kind of, right?
Yeah.
Now I'm gonna look at this card as so much more appreciation now that you said that. I didn't know that he was the logo. So
I think he's right.
that's the continuation there, right there. That's so cool. I didn't know that. I just learned something. So what else you got for us, Vince? I'm curious to see what you pulled out.
Well, I don't have very many insert cards of his, but I pulled this one again. Just I think maybe my favorite Jordan. It's the '93 Flair Ultra Scoring Kings. And you don't really get the full effect of this through the camera here, but it's like got a purple background with lightning coming through him, and it's just a great looking card. I posted it on Instagram, and I used a filter that really brings it out. Yeah, this card is just love this Jordan card. One of his better inserts, I guess, from back in the day, and probably the only one I ever get from back in the day at this point, the way things are with his cards. So
that's one of his most expensive cards, isn't it?
Well, I guess. I mean, there's certainly more expensive cards, but yeah, this is not inexpensive, at least not anymore.
Right. As far as inserts go, that's probably one of his most chased inserts.
Yeah.
Right?
It's an early one. I think the Beam Team is his first, and this one was the year later, I think, or something. But I'm not a Jordan expert, so I don't know. Somebody could better answer that question, but certainly it's an early favorite for Jordan insert cards, without a doubt, yeah.
And how about you, George? You look like you were rummaging there for some Jordans or so.
Well, I was looking for a Jordan because, I got on this Tony's Pizza kick because I noticed the pop reports were super low on these cards back in like 6 years ago. And so I got a couple cases. I opened them, I graded them. But the Jordan is such a cool card in this, and it's the same image on a couple different cards. And he is completely posterizing Patrick Ewing like he always does. I mean, look at that. I mean, he's just, poor Patrick Ewing's just like, oh no, oh no. That's what he does. And this is an image that's on, I think, a couple other cards, at least one other card I know of. But this Tony's Pizza was in these.
You mean this one?
That's the
Stadium
one.
Club?
Yes, see, right? You had it.
We're on this. I'm telling you, we did not orchestrate this. We are totally on the same wavelength.
Yeah, I was just, that card is, that image is just, he's a beast, and that's just what he did, right? Like they took a guy from like 2000. They took a guy from like 2100 and put him in 1985.
And I guess since we're on Jordan, I pulled out a few Jordan cards that when I look at them, they really just do it for me. And that's this one, because I guess it took Scarface and him together and mashed them up. And basically, he's the man. He's the boss. Like, the world is his. So it was only fitting to have him illustrated this way. And then obviously there's times when you think of a player, you think of their number. So just to have him there, having an aerial shot, and then the number 23 is the only thing that you see really, other than his acrobatics. This card I love. And then the last one with Jordan, which I decided to pull out, was the fact that, I don't know if you have the LeBron Kobe one where he's guarding him. That's obviously one of the more famous cards. There you go. So I love Jordan guarding Kobe. There you go. To me, this one is such a cool card. I don't have that one, actually.
Vince, did you already have that one out as one you were going to discuss?
Yeah.
Cool. So you're right. James, go ahead.
I feel like this doesn't get enough fanfare or hype, but come on, you got two of the GOATs here. I mean, LeBron gets more hype than this one, but I prefer this one over the LeBron. Not that I think that one sucks, but talking about the GOAT, this one does it for me. So you had that one already, Vince. What about that one? Obviously, it's LeBron guarding Kobe, but anything else about that card, like just you love about it? Like it's just it for you?
So here's the thing. Yes, I probably would have bought this card anyway, but I also bought it because I was on a mission to do Kobe's Topps Chrome run. Okay. And so this is included in that run, obviously. And at the time, him with LeBron featured wasn't as big a deal, nearly as big a deal as it became. say a couple of years ago now at this point. But yeah, now you look at it, it's like two legendary players here, right, on the same card. And that's kind of a thing now on the hobby, having two big names on one card.
Right.
You know, and so, I mean, this is definitely going to be an all-time classic, without a doubt. And
Right.
basketball card, you know.
Have you
lore.
checked out the prices on those? Have they continued to go up, or have they corrected or gone down?
Went way up, and now they're way down.
Really?
I mean, it's still not inexpensive, but I mean, it's maybe 1/5 of what it sold for at its peak, I would say. And you can say that
Okay.
about a lot of big cards, I think.
Okay.
But yeah, and it's just the base chrome. It's not the refractor. I don't have any refractors. Those are crazy money.
Right.
Just the base chrome on that.
So you're basically saying cameo cards do it for you. Do you have any other cameo cards? Because I got a few here, but I don't want to steal your thunder, being that you brought up the topic.
No, that's the only one I have in my little pile here.
Okay, and George, do you have any cameo cards that speak to you?
Oh yeah. But I mean, I'm thinking about this. My dog. Thinking about this from, when we're talking like the greatest all-time players. When we were growing up, like, and take this for what you will, but like, I didn't feel like my generation, your generation, we had like these Hank Aaron and Willie Mays were at the end of their careers, right? I didn't see them play, but there's all these cool like cameo or joint cards, like probably the two of the best ones being Manager's Dream from 1962 with Mays and Mantle. And then you have 64 with Aaron and Mays, 63 with Musial and Mays. So in our era, I was kind of like, my two favorite players were George Brett and Rod Carew. And I was like, and when I saw this card, and I was really young, I was like 9 years old, and 81 Donruss, it just blew my mind. I was like, oh my gosh. And this and this card just says one thing: best hitters. Yep.
Right.
In my opinion, I mean, if you needed it, a couple guys to hit you 330, there you go. So anyway, this card speaks to me a lot. And it didn't have much traction a long time ago, but now it seems to be, all these 80s cards are, people tend to gravitate toward them. So at least from our era, these baseball wise, this was like one that I really, really loved.
Yeah, that's a great card. I didn't even see that one till now. I guess I'm going to bring up a cameo card, and this is a famous pick on top of that, and that's John Starks, the dunk. I'm a Knicks fan, but obviously Jordan's in there too. So it's basically a cameo card, but it's basically one of the greatest moments in John Starks' career and one of the best moments for the Knicks. I love this card because it captures a moment there. And I guess I'm going to bring up another topic, which is capturing moments. And I have like two cards here that I want to share where it's capturing a moment. And that's another thing I love. Odell Beckham with the catch. I love this card because it freeze frames that moment of such a tremendous catch. And then you got Mike Tyson here slapping the mouthpiece out of Mitch Blood Green. And that's his rookie card. If you're going to have a rookie card, that's a rookie card. He has a rookie sticker, but this is a rookie card.
Mm-hmm.
We got somebody calling George or Vince.
Not me.
It's me.
So action shots for me sometimes are like really cool. What else? I guess I'll let either George or Vince, if you want to bring up another card that speaks to you, you could go right ahead.
Well, it doesn't really speak to me per se, but it follows I really like this card, the way it looks. This is Dwight Gooden, 86 Donruss. 86 Donruss, a little more obtainable than 85. I actually found some of these packs in stores back then. And, this is just a great in-action image of him, obviously from his 85 season when he just lit it up, and yeah, I just love the look of this card. I like the 86 Donruss design and the color combination. I guess you can't really tell through this camera, but yeah, it's that what was it, like aqua colored. I don't know how you describe 86 Donruss, sort of like a blue.
Yeah, bluish teal.
Yeah. So
That's a
one
great
of
card.
2 Dwight Goodens I have in my little stack here tonight. So 86 Donruss. Again, I just really love that card of his.
Right. And George, what else you got there that speaks to you?
Well, I couldn't agree more. Again, that 86 Donner set was great. I almost pulled out the Jose Canseco, my childhood Jose Canseco, which got a PSA 7, and I was thankful for that. But yeah, that set was awesome. I was actually rummaging here for a Dwight Gooden, but I had an 86 Fleer All-Star Dwight Gooden, which I believe was the first insert set for a major company. They had Don Mattingly and Ricky Henderson was in that, Dan Quisenberry. But anyway, you got like 5 of those insert cards, All-Stars. And I was looking for it. And if I find it, I'll show it to you. But this was one that I really loved. The 1981 Fleer Fernand Valenzuela. So, they were so far. We were lucky to even get this card because Donruss was too late on the Fernando train, and Fernand Valenzuela here, they just did what they could. But this was his first individual card, and I just thought as a kid you were trying to chase this card, and I was buying 81 Donruss packs because we had them. Just kept looking for that Fernando that never existed. So eventually picked this one up, and I just have always just thought Fernando was awesome. So that was one that really speaks to me. And the colors too, it's got that really cool blue on blue, in the dark black background. What is he, 20 years old here? So that was really one that spoke to me. One that I have that's kind of humorous is a basketball card. I was telling James about it. And maybe this will lead you and James into something else, but Pete Maravich, 75 top
Nice.
Pete Maravich. Now, this is a great card. But what I really like about it is his devilish goatee. He's just got this devilish goatee from the side view, if I can show it better. And, he almost looks like he doesn't look like a basketball player. He looks like a character from, I don't know, Rocky Horror. I don't know. But anyway.
That's my favorite Pete Maravich card right there. It's my favorite one. I just love the way it looks. It's totally 70s with his hairstyle. I don't know why. I just love that card. So, George, do you have something you want to say? I feel like I cut you off. Sorry. I mean, all right.
No, I was going to say that's an awesome Maravich, and that's an awesome set. That is a totally 70s. It's kind of like the 72 or 72 baseball sets, kind of like that basketball set. I believe that's 71 basketball, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. There was another set. Well, not set. There's a look and feel of a card that for some reason I love. And there's a 74, but if you can see Steve Garvey is totally in that shot, but in the background, it looks like it's bubbled out. I don't know what effect they used, but they did it again here with the Ryan Sandberg. And there's something about that look that I love about these 2 cards. And if there's more cards like that, I would chase them all day, every day. There's something about this look that really grabs my attention. And I don't know. It's just unique. But I'm going to try to chase more like that. And I did want to ask you a follow-up to that Fernando Valenzuela card you showed. Mm-hmm. Do you know if there's one of him looking up into the sky right before he throws the pitch? Is there a card like that?
Yeah, the 82 Fleer Fernando. The 82 Fleer Fernando, he has 2 cards. And I know for sure there's one that's a strikeout, 81 strikeout leader card. They didn't have leaders cards in 82 Fleer, but they had these kind of they do an extra card for a guy. So he has 82 strikeout leaders card, and it's him with a glove, and the picture's kind of like from up above a little bit, and he's going like that, looking up. Now he's not completely rolling his eyes back, but he's looking up. And then there's a regular card too that's somewhat similar, but not quite as Fernando.
Oh, nice. All right, Vince, I'll let you show the next one if you want. While you're showing that, I'm going to try to pay attention to some of the comments and see what people are saying.
Yes.
Ricky, nice.
So I just actually shared this on Instagram a few days ago, and just a really cool card. I mean, obviously he's going, and he probably stole it. He stole like 100. Well, this was an 81, right? I don't know how many bases he stole, but he stole a lot of bases, obviously. And they don't make him like this guy anymore. I think over the last 10 years, you might have a couple guys that might hit 70 stolen bases, but usually you're in like the 30 to 50-ish range, and they don't do it for a long period of time. They do it for a couple of years, and they kind of like fall off, and it's somebody else. But here's a guy who did it for however long. I mean, he stole 130 bases for crying out loud in 82, right? So, I mean, good grief. Just really like this card of him. Probably my favorite Henderson. But yeah, that's why I pulled this one for tonight. This 82 Topps Ricky.
That's a great card. I don't own that one, but now you're probably gonna have me look on eBay for it right after I turn this off.
Yeah, I had that card like it was in the pile. I was when I narrowed it down, because just like you said, Vince, he's doing his thing. I mean, that's what Ricky does right there. The rookie card's awesome, but that's Ricky doing his thing and being like a disruptive force. Like, I just love these cards where the guys are doing what they're known for, and they're like nobody did it better. One,
that's my favorite Ricky card because it has them full stride. Turbo is on, nitrous oxide, and he is just tearing it up. And it's automatic. He's got that base stolen. He's in full gear.
The catcher's like, here we go again.
Why do I even throw it, right? So there's another card in the 80s which does it for everyone. Is this one. But I feel like this one is not talked about. And it's pretty much the same card, but just a different pose. So I got them both. But why are you laughing, Vince? You had that next or something?
No, I don't. I just think those are interesting cards to put in a pack for guys to open up.
For children?
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, it is what it is.
It's what it is.
So wait a minute, you're telling me when you opened up that pack, what happened? You were like, what am I
got grounded. No. I actually never pulled that card from a pack, although I did get that first one you showed. I have the factory set. So I think it's in there. The 90 score.
Okay. Set. Yeah, it's the football version. And I guess it's the same photo shoot. But this is the one that gets all the hype, obviously. It's cool as hell. I'm not going to lie. It's cooler than this. But he, I guess they told him, act like you're going to swing with shoulder pads on. But it's still cool.
Did they use oil on him in those photos, or what's going on there?
Baby oil. Lather up a little sweat there.
No, they were using baby oil on this guy. I was actually looking for. I have an Andre the Giant that Dane Card Tech 710 gave me like 4 or 5 years ago. Beautiful card, but that one's not around here. So I said, well, I have a couple wrestling cards here, and I was like, you know what? It's time. If you're talking baby oil, I'm just going to talk about the American Dream.
I'll let you go next, Vince. Let me see what you got next, because
all right, I'm going to bring it back to. Well, I can't follow that up. Yeah. So I brought this Pete Rose with me.
Oh, beautiful.
Nobody really likes his rookie card, but this is like, maybe the next best alternative with the Rookie Cup logo. He's by himself. It's just a great looking card, Notoriously tough to find centered. Mine's not even, 50-50, I'm not sure if it was like at the end of the sheet or whatever, but this card's always off center, it seems like. But again, it's Pete Rose, and who I think, will get into the Hall of Fame. He'll be voted in someday, probably after he passes, whenever that is. But I think he deserves to be there based on his on-field stuff, So.
Do you have a cup card, George, that you like?
Oh, I wasn't even thinking about the cup concept.
That one, I'm gonna tell you the truth. I didn't think about pulling out a cup card. Also, you got us both, Vince.
Yeah, if I happen to have one, I'm just kind of cycling through. I love them. I mean, that rose card's awesome. Recently with Tony Oliva getting the Hall of Fame, his rookie cup card is really cool. Even though I think it's his third card. Here's a card I love, and it should be a rookie cup card. This card is awesome. Cal Ripken. That card is like, I mean, he's swinging, and I've never seen a Cal Ripken card where you're like, he just beat the living tar out of the ball, right? He's aggressive. I love the set. To me, this set's better than the 63 top set, even though it like looks similar. But if there was a rookie cup during this set, he would have one down there. It's true.
All right, so I'm gonna share one that I think is cool and very unique. I came across it last week when I was rummaging, and this card forever I thought was like an insert or something, and I would always glance past it. And it's Kenny Rogers. So ho hum, Kenny Rogers. But then I looked at it again, and it's actually a picture of him getting interviewed because he just pitched, and you'll see all the donuts of Perfecto. And it's his card. That is the coolest way to commemorate a player with his Perfecto. And now it's one of my favorites because you don't see a card like this. And they commemorated him with his Perfecto. He hasn't done much in the league to say he's super famous. He had a few nice years, not with the Yankees. But to have a card where it's of you and your Perfecto, you did your accomplishment, I think it's super cool. And I used to glance over it all the time.
It almost looks like a Nintendo 64 picture. Like it doesn't. I mean, it just kind of looks a little strange. I mean, it's a great card. That's interesting. I had no idea about that.
Yeah, I used to look past it all the time. I thought it was like a checklist card, and for whatever reason, I just looked at it like, what are they doing with this picture? And then it's like, oh my God, how did I miss this whole time? And it's so cool. Afterwards, I just appreciated it so much more. All right, so I guess, George, I'll let you show something now that I think it was Vince and me. It's your turn now. What do you got?
Oh, I did find the Dwight Gooden I was referring to.
Oh,
so
nice.
This was the insert Doc Gooden, which I know Nate, who tuned in, Tops 85401, loves the Star Wars kind of how it's going down like Star Wars here, Okay. And this set was fantastic, and it was just you get like 5 cards per box. So it was the first kind of insert set. Cards I was looking at.
You're talking about this one? Star Wars going down?
Yeah, Star Wars going down. There you go. That's an awesome card too.
I think it's better than the other ones that everyone has. But I love those Star Wars. I'm trying to get the whole collection going, but I only try to get the near mint ones, and they're all beat to crap when they come up. So, and the black borders, super tough on these.
They're not cheap.
Yeah, when you get it centered and the black borders look cool, eventually I'll grade them when I get all 16 of them. But I only got right now.
I got a couple things with some basketball stuff, but like speaking of like a guy doing his thing, like I always love Dr. J cards. And
nice.
When you like,
that's a great card.
I mean, he's always seems to be working somebody over. Like Dan Issel right there is getting, what is he going to, he's going to finger roll. What is he going to do? And it's got that beautiful ABA basketball. The card's pink, got the pinks on it, the dark background. It's just, he's just doing his thing. And it's like, it's the same thing. And I think this card, honestly, is better than his rookie. It's his rookie all-star card. And I mean, certainly there's a difference in the price tag, but it's just a great card. And there's that ABA basketball, and he's going to do that finger roll on you again. And I just, there's 86, I have 86 Fleer Dr. J in here too, which I just love. When I was opening packs of 86 Fleer basketball back in the day, there's 2 cards that were just awesome. And one was a Dr. J. He's slamming the ball. He's got an angry face. He's slamming the ball down. And the second card was Michael Jordan. That card from the day it dropped was like, you're looking at that Michael Jordan card thinking, wow, that's an awesome card on the 86 Fleer.
I guess with Dr. J being disrespectful, I got one that's also disrespectful, and that's John Morant with his rookie card given Kevin Love crotch mouth, because that is one way to go out with a picture like that.
He's getting the treatment.
That is rough, but I will choose this card every day of the week over his Prism or any other. I just love it. This is a statement rookie card right here.
John Morant's saying, "Tell it to my balls." That's what he's saying right there.
Speak to the mic.
This is awesome. This is awesome. All right, next.
Next, Vince, you're up next.
So I brought a card that for the longest time I just thought was just stupid. I hated it. Why would anybody want this card? Silly. And then I don't know what the hell happened. But then a switch went off, and suddenly I really wanted the card. I liked it a lot, and I think it's great. And now I think it's one of the coolest cards in my collection, and one of the coolest cards in general. It's this Joe Dimaggio. You know, the heads up with the cartoony body and the sort of the goofy smile and all the little scribbles and things around it. And you know, some people call this his rookie card, but it really isn't his rookie card. He has a worldwide gum issue from, I think, 2 years prior.
36.
Incredibly scarce and hard to find, you know, Canadian issue.
Right.
So maybe this is for the mainstream, generally accepted as like his rookie card, I guess, with an asterisk.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's a silly looking card. And, you know, I was like, man, is that dumb, you know, years ago. But just something happened where I really like that card now. And it's happened a couple times with me. And so here is Joe D from 38 Heads Up Gouty.
What does it say in the cartoon captions?
Oh, you're going to ask me to read? He's a member of Yanks Murderers Row and flirts with the home run record. Joe rated a what in this? I don't know what the hell that says. Pretty fair salary for a young fellow, and it's $25,000 a year.
Wow.
In today's dollars, that's probably like, you know, 30 million. I don't know, adjusted for inflation, you know, 1937. Considered one of the greatest fielders of our time. So, yeah, and you know, he has a regular version. I think this is card 274. I think he has card 250 is the non-scribble version. It's just very plain and not very, you know, interesting as this one is.
So do you prefer the cartoon over the plain one? Like,
yes,
you do.
Yeah,
I prefer that one too.
And this is a little harder to find too. It's a little more rare than the plain one.
Is it?
Yeah.
I didn't know which one was more scarce. All I knew was I liked how it filled in the background. The background looks so plain when there's nothing in there. So I preferred the cartoon.
Yeah. So
but they're both equally as priced, right? Even though you're saying that one's rare.
This one's a little more money.
Yeah.
Is it?
Expensive.
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
I didn't know. So George, I'll let you bring up another one right now.
Well, that's awesome card, Vince. I love that. That set is like just a time capsule, right? The Bob Feller is awesome. Hank Greenberg is awesome. I mean, they've got the big head and everything, just like you were drawing cartoons of your kid, right? The Gehringer, stuff like that. This one I like. Truth be told, I'm not a huge fan of this guy, but I'm a fan of this card. It's a W512 1926 Ty Cobb strip card. Now, what I really like about this card is he's got this really maniacal look. I mean, you know, he just looks evil. And then it's got this black cherry background. And on this card, I don't know if you could see it. It's hard to see, but the black cherry on this card, it's like it bleeds through the back. It's so like the color is so vivid, you know. And this one's got pretty good registration. It's a PSA 1, but just, you know, an interesting card of Cobb and real colorful. Some people don't like the kind of, you know, it's a drawing, really, kind of. It's not necessarily a photo, but it's a very stylized drawing. And again, I like the color in the background, like on the 41 play ball Ted Williams. It really just draws me to the card. I mean, it helps as Ty Cobb, but it does draw me the card.
Don is hilarious. He says, looks like he has lipstick on.
It's a lot like the 1920s, you know, all those cards of like the movie stars or Johnny Weissmuller, where they all kind of have this rosy cheeks. And, you know, you see it on, what is it, the T207s? Very stylized.
Right. Do you have your Jackie Robinson? Because This is one of my favorite cards of Phil Rizzuto, and it kind of looks basically like your Jackie Robinson. So I have the poor man's Jackie Robinson basically with this one. But I love all the detail, the background, and cards like this are just the greatest to me. And I know that Jackie Robinson, I don't know if you have it, that's just as awesome.
Yeah, I know Vince has one of these in a 6 as well, right? Yeah, great card. You know, it's hard to talk about the eye appeal of a card. The whole set. I mean, you know, the Ted Williams is fantastic, and I have the 51 Bowman here of the Ted Williams. Kind of looking up. You know, the Bowman is always getting the backgrounds. You know, the Larry Doby. You see the background of the stadium. You know, kind of what's going on. So just this is my favorite Jackie Robinson card. But yes, Bowman just did such a fantastic job.
You see that one guy right there hanging out, eating some popcorn, and Roy Campanella's got a nice action shot going there. Bowman did their thing. I don't know how Topps took them over, but they had the formula and they just squabbled it. I don't know.
I think the story is Topps was paying him like a little bit more. They were whatever, like Bowman was paying him something like $25 to be on their cards every time. You know, $25, and Topps was paying him like $30.
Oh, okay.
That helped the demise of Bowman. $5 a player.
So, Vince, I'll let you bring up another one right now.
So I think this guy dominates my stack tonight. Dwight Gooden, 84 Topps traded. You know, just a great looking card. And maybe what appeals to me is just how you just couldn't never get this card. You know, you couldn't find this card unless you bought the set. Where do you find the set? I mean, I know card stores growing up, and there was no eBay or internet to find this stuff like you can today. So later in life, like a lot of people, I went back and bought a lot of these cards that I wish I could have owned when I was a kid, you know, in high grade. And this is one of them. I just really like the combination of photo here of the 84 Topps design. More so than his 84 Fleer, which, you know, commands a little more of a premium, but I just like the way this looks. You know, Dwight Gooden was probably my favorite player in the 80s. Fortunately ran into hard times, you know, personal struggles, but yeah, just really, really, really like this card. Love to have it in a Tiffany, but that shit might have sailed a little bit, so stick with the base.
That's awesome.
Do you have a favorite card out of that set, George?
I grabbed this one because I had this one sitting around too.
Nice.
This is, you know, the strawberry. And I mean, if you get a good one, you know, you can get like the real green, like light green in the background, the real blues on it, and the colors really pop. There's also, you know, that would get washed out too. But yeah, that Doc Gooden, you're so right, Vince. Like my local card shop, I had a set and I sold it, and I regret it to this day. I don't have that card. Should have bought it a long time ago. But you could like the limit at my card shop was you could get one set.
Yeah.
Because everybody wanted that. Everybody wanted that Dwight Gooden. Now the Fleer was sitting on the shelf like for like months until like, you know, until like football season was over. People didn't seem to want that around here. It was funny.
Well, I'm gonna bring up one that speaks to me for a reason that's self-explanatory. Raleigh Fingers has one of the most famous mustaches in the whole sport, and then over here you get a gander of him without a mustache. So it's almost unreal to see him without a mustache, and that's why I love this card, because he has one of the coolest mustaches. But this is what he looks like without that stash.
I thought he came out of the womb with a mustache.
I thought so too. But that one appeals to me because of that. I was like, wow, that's what he looks like without a mustache. Pretty cool. Go ahead, Vince. You could go next. Let's see what you got there.
Yeah, you know, different strokes for different folks. I just like this card. This Bob Clemente, 67
Nice.
top. Just a portrait, you know, but I like the design. I like the portrait, and I like the centering even better. But you know, I just like this card. What can I say? There's not really much going on with it. So, you know, I finally got around to grabbing a copy maybe a couple of years ago. And yeah, and Bob Clemente, obviously one of the all-time greats. I don't have his rookie card. One of the few, you know, I guess, holes in my collection maybe. Probably never will get it at this point. You know, like I think we've all come to terms with a lot of big cards that we maybe were targeting, and it's like, unless you want it in like an authentic or a one.
Now, what I like about that card, that if you could hold it up one more time, is that there's times that color combinations work perfectly, and they chose a great color to combine with the feel of that card, with the yellow, the black. That purple for the Pirates is like the perfect color you could pick for a picture like that. And it brings the whole card together, which is what I agree with you. When you look at it as a whole, it just works perfectly.
Yeah. Very simple design, minimalistic, nice picture, great player. I just like this card. So there you have it.
Nice. All right, George, what do you got there that works for you?
I really like this card because, again, it's a guy who's getting ready to do his thing. He's doing his thing, and this is an 80 Topps Nolan Ryan. And I love the All-Star banner. The colors work together. I mean, the All-Star banner is almost like the colors on his hat. It's almost like they said, well, what color should we make the All-Star banners? Well, what color is Nolan Ryan's hat? That's kind of almost what they did. And he's sitting here, and he's gonna, whoever's hitting is in deep trouble. And so I just think this is a great card. Have actually acquired numerous copies as I've gotten older because I really like it so much.
Nice. I guess I'll show you one that I think the colors work for me, and that's a 52 Bob Feller. He has, as someone who used to draw, I don't know if you could agree with me with this point, George. The binary colors are all here: the yellows, the blues, the reds, and it's just perfect. I just think that it's just perfect with the yellow background. It's simple. He's got a nice smile. Then it's picked up again over here with the red, and even the Chief Wahoo there. It's just, I think this is a beautiful card. Gorgeous, simple, nothing too crazy. And this works for me. Every time I look at it, I stare at it for at least 30 seconds. It's just a beautiful card. They got it right. Go ahead, Vince. Let's see what you got.
Not much, but probably one of my top 3 favorite cards in my collection. Babe Ruth, Gowdy, 33. And my favorite card, probably the most common and readily available and least expensive of his 4 Gowdy cards, I think. And I happen to think it's the best one because it's an action pose, I suppose. And I just like the artwork on this one. And I just, it's Babe Ruth, the greatest of all time, right? According to ESPN anyway. But, I make a pretty strong case for that. And
Right.
It's my only Ruth card in my collection and probably will remain that way.
Yeah. I love that card. That's up there with, like I was showing the Phil Rizzuto, and then George showed the Jackie Robinson. A pose like that is just a beautiful card, a full body pose with a lot of details in the background. It's just a beautiful card.
Yeah. One of my favorites for sure.
Yeah, that's a big boy card too. I guess since you brought up Ruth, this is one of my favorite Ruth cards because it has Ted Williams in there. And I just love, Ruth happened to be Ted Williams' idol. So you could tell he's hanging out with him and he cannot hide the glee of meeting his idol. And then he's doing something that we all used to do when we chose up teams to see who bats up first or has first picks. And I just think this just draws me back to like the Sandlot, to when I grew up, choosing up teams, playing stickball. And I love it. It's just grown men acting like kids. And we all have our idols with baseball. And here's Ted Williams meeting his idol. And the expression on his face is worth $1 million here. I love it.
Nice.
George, you're up.
Well, I'm looking for a Babe Ruth, but I'm not finding one. No, that 140. I have 144 as well. That's only Gowdy. Well, it's a fantastic. It's the color on the bottom of it says Big League Gum, and it's the same color as like the gum would be, right? And the whole body pose. I think that's my favorite one for sure. That's a great choice. And the Ted Williams, that's awesome. Ted Williams and Babe Ruth together. I'm trying to think of something I could I could show I'll show this. This is not. Got the phone going again. So what I'm going to do here is show a card that is along the same lines. It's Indian Gum, Geronimo.
Oh, wow.
And so this Geronimo card, similar, same manufacturer, but I just think this is such a cool set. I know Don had gotten this from a rummage sale. We had talked about this, and he showed us a picture of it. Not necessarily the Geronimo, but the Indian Gum set, which I just think it's really interesting looking at what they say about the different chiefs and people involved in this at the time, because it's from that time period, and that's the perspective from which they're writing. But the artwork on it is similar to the 33 Gaudi set. I just think it's really colorful. I think it's really beautiful. And I think if you can grab one, you should.
So let me ask you a question. Now that we've shown various types of cards and like from different eras, how do you feel about the cards nowadays compared to yesteryear? I find like, not that I'm dumping on their cards, but I just have a few cards here. And just to give you an example, modern cards, they tend to like just give you a lot of background and nothing else, as opposed to what we're showing, like the background in a card, the stadium and stuff like that. How do you feel about like cards like these where they're just giving you a lot in design, which is nice too, but as opposed to other eras? Do you like this? Do you like the evolution, or you're just always drawn to yesteryears? How do you feel about that?
I think just tastes change over time. These guys nowadays look at the 18, 19 Prism like we look at 84, 85 tops. You know what I mean? It's just, I don't particularly care for it. I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that you can't get these guys in actual game situations because they haven't even held a ball or swung a bat yet. So they just throw them up in a pose. They maybe have a uniform on, or they somehow superimpose that, and the background is really nothing but a shiny prism or something or another. I like some of them, but I prefer the older stuff, and that's just because of my demographic. I'm sure the kids today love that shiny new stuff on the full bleed borders and all that. I just I don't know. I don't know if I'll ever see unless you buy a Topps Heritage, right? That sort of like stuff we all remember growing up with, and rip it from packs. The shiny stuff has a place. Some of it's really interesting and cool, but some not so much. But you can say that about, I guess, any era or generation of baseball cards, like 81 Donruss, for example. Terrible.
Joe, you gotta mute that thing.
I'm trying. It's my wife's computer, and I keep getting a call, and I just feel like smashing it. Anyway, so I'm gonna answer your question with kind of some cards. I think some issues are really cool for my taste. And I saw this card and I really loved it. I was raw and I got it graded, but it was this Ronald Acuna rookie debut pink refractor. Now, I just saw this pose and I was like, man, it was pink. And I was like, that's interesting, at the time. I think 2018 did a really good job. And then it was actual action pose, like in a game, which again, it's different from what we've been talking about. Which I really like. I was happy to see that baseball was doing this kind of stuff. The same thing here with the Juan Soto rookie debut. I just think I think this is a better looking card, frankly, than his regular card. I really like his swing there, his follow through. So the Gleyber Torres, despite Gleyber's lack of performance, it's a really cool card as well. You can see the whole background of the stadium when he's jogging up. I think it's his rookie debut as well. So I like some of this stuff for sure. At the same time, it seems like the companies like Donruss Panini are not really trying to do these action shots like Vince is saying. Topps is, and who knows where that's going in the future, but that's what I would prefer is put the player in his environment and let us, that's why most of these cards, if not all of them we're talking about, other than really old cards like Gaudis and stuff like that, entail some kind of action shot that we really enjoy. And we enjoyed it when we were kids too. And I think kids today would enjoy it too. They'd rather have an action shot of Juan Soto than him just sitting there with nothing in the background.
Right. And I'm not dumping on basketball if you think I am. I still love my basketball action shots. Like a card like that floats my boat every day of the week. Sean Kemp floats like he's just climbing the steps there to do a ferocious dunk. And basketball still does it for me. But as much as I like a parallel when I see it has all that thunder or whatever, starlight or, you name it. It looks cool, but I think sometimes it speaks to me more when I see a lot going on in the background or like the action shots. We began showing a 73 set because it's not a coincidence. They just tell more to the pictures. There's more to look at, more. It opens up the imagination and your interest, and you just stare at it a whole lot longer, even though it might be more attractive to look at some modern cards. I mean, I'll share one other card that it's modern, it's just him, but I love this card. So I'm not like opposed to owning these cards. They're beautiful in their own right, but it's just missing that that I feel like other cards, especially like with baseball and action shots, they have. So I don't know. Do you still have more, Vince? I don't want to.
I got a few more.
Let's see what you got, Vince.
There was a time when I ended to put together the entire Ricky Henderson Topps run base and traded, and I got most of the way through it. But then I realized that 2001 Topps traded, or 2000, they were like $300, and PSA 10. They were ridiculously expensive because probably the registry set chasers, how they're hard to get in high grade. Anyway, this was one I picked up along the route, and before I called it quits, the 91. I just love this. Look at this. I don't know if he's diving back into first, maybe on a pickoff, or is he sliding to the third? I think it's first base. But anyway, another one of the just really cool in action photos of Ricky Henderson just being a pest to a certain degree. And it's from 91 Topps. So pretty mundane selection. Just I like the art, the card design, and just the action shot here, and the logo, just everything about it I really like. So the Ricky 91 Topps base card.
And I think the fact that it's horizontal allows you to like really get that framed out just right. It's a nice, because a lot of people are against horizontal cards because they just don't look right in a binder per se. Or when you go to stand those up, it's sideways when you stand it up. But I mean, to me, it's not an inconvenience. In a case like what you just showed, it deserves to be horizontally. It's you can't get a picture like that no other way but horizontal.
Yeah, this would not look good as a vertical card. Yeah, so you're absolutely right, James. Horizontal bust on this one.
Nice. How about you, George?
Oh, my son is driving me nuts, trying to call me, and he probably wants the internet on or something. But I have to do the stream. So anyway, horizontal cards. I would say with horizontal cards, if you don't like them, get the hell out of here. This is a horizontal card that is awesome. And, Fisk has 77 card that's awesome too. It's like the Seaver in this set where he's throwing, it's fantastic. They seem to do a great job. The 73 Willie Stargell looks super cool. Horizontal cards. Satchel Paige jersey card, horizontal. That looks pretty good to me. Like horizontal cards, I think they do a great job on them. And look at that. It's a rare kind of picture. You don't see him kind of doing that delivery very often. I don't know if you could fit this in if it was like that. I think we lost our host. I'm going to keep going though, Vince.
I'm still
horizontal
here.
Cards. This is a pretty good horizontal card. This whole set's pretty good.
Yeah,
I love this set. I'm just being facetious, but I love this set, and I just think it's the best set of the '60s. Whether it's Aaron or it's Clemente, it's Mays, so many stars that look great. The mantle looks great. This is another horizontal card. I think this is one of my favorite cards because the colors. But I think horizontal cards are fantastic. And I got one more horizontal card. This is a set some people don't like. It's football, like 71 Topps, like 62 football Topps. But I mean, this was a different. Topps was trying something different. And you know what? I appreciate him for it. This is unlike any other football card set of the 80s. And I think it's cool. So I think I'm going to have to.
I'll take over from here, I guess.
Yeah, I'm
Take
going to
care of
mute
what you gotta
myself.
do.
I'm going to go do what I got to do.
Going back to the set that you brought up there, Vince, I love this horizontal card of the Rocket Roger Clemens standing next to the strikeout. It's like perfect. Whatever photographer came up with this and said, stand over there, it's perfect. And I hate the Red Sox. I don't even care for Rocket Roger, even when he joined the Yankees. But I got to give it to him. We're talking about the beautiful look of a card. This one has it for me. Love it, love it, love it. Horizontal works for me if the picture works for me. And I can't stop looking at it. And he looks happy. Like Roger, when he was throwing a bat at Mike Piazza, he did not look happy. Over here, he looks happy.
Yeah, Roger seemed perennially pissed off all the time when he was with the Yankees, so I don't know. But this is a horizontal card just because I think they had to get 3 guys on here. But this is probably one of, again, like the Ruth, a top 3 card in my collection. And just a raw card, but it's from Topps fan favorites. And it's a triple auto of 3 80s heavyweights. You know, they all kind of get Don Mattingly,
a great card.
Wade Boggs, and Dwight Gooden all in one card.
That's the who's who of the mid 80s right there.
I mean, that was like, this is from, I think, 2005 fan favorites. And they're all on card.
Wow.
I remember when you showed that
card.
What's that, George?
I remember when you showed that card.
Yeah, I've had it for several years, and it's hard to find. I don't know maybe it's numbered to 50. I have no idea what the numbering is on it, but it's definitely just, if you grew up in the 80s and you were collecting, these were the guys you were collecting. And I just think it's fantastic to have them all in one like this. So
that is a great card. That's the first time I've seen it. So I love that card. It is. How is that not in a PSA or SGC or something? Like, that thing is gorgeous.
I bought it raw. I do want to send it off. I think I might send it off to CSG because it's one of those cards where it doesn't matter what slab it's in. You know what I mean? Like, the value won't be impacted if it's in a SGC or CSG. I think it'd just be, I just want to get it slabbed.
Right, protect it. Right.
And I mean, PSA wants $50 and you had to like be in a lottery to get us. I mean, who the hell? Yeah, I don't have time for that. So I have a few cards, primarily autographed ones, certified autograph that I want to send off to CSG to get slabbed. I like their holders, the nice crystal clear holders. So just
you know what I love about that card? The pictures they also used is like Wade Boggs is always going oppo, and there you see him taking it oppo. It's like signature. And Donnie's looking at one he ripped somewhere. And Gooden's not really doing anything action, but he doesn't need to. He was imposing on the mound. It's like they got 3 good shots of the 3 players. That card it's a great card all around. I love it. Yeah. Good card, Vince. All right. Did you take care of your issues there, George?
I'm hoping against hope.
What do you got, George?
Oh,
you gotta come with something good.
Something good. I can go with something funny. Here's something funny for you. This is a 1973 Topps Artist Gilmore. And I love this card because Artist Gilmore looks like a giant. Like, he's a big guy. Like, he's a 7-footer. But for some reason in this picture, he looks like he's like Goliath. It's like 9 feet tall. And I always love this card. And then some guy had it listed. It was like $25 for a PSA 9. I'm like, okay, I'll buy that. But I just love these ABA. And it's the ABA All-Stars. And, just a great set. That was kind of cool. This is a card I like. You'll love this, James. You're a pugilist fan. Sugar Ray Robinson, 48 leaf.
Nice.
The set's got some traction lately, and it just has some great all-time boxers in it. Obviously the Joe Louis, the Rocky Graziano, but then you got Jake LaMotta, you got Sugar Ray, the real Sugar Ray. And it's like, just such a great set, and Leaf cards, I think Leaf cards, baseball, football, or this are just fantastic cards. I actually got this one raw and got it graded. When you hold 48 Leaf cards, they're thick. It's almost like they had 2 pieces of paper and they put them together. And so they're thicker.
Right.
And that's how you can kind of tell that they're legit, when you hold on to them and look at them. But Really just like the colors on this Sugar Ray, the style of it. And yes, it's just a picture of a guy without any background, but it's a pretty cool picture, like your Barry Sanders you showed.
It's a great card. I'm going to show you a card. I'm just trying to gather my cards here because got a whole big mess here. All right, so some cards speak to me is because when you think of a player, sometimes you think of their number, you think of their nickname, or like with the Julio Franco, like you said, Ricky Henderson on the base path. Sometimes to me, I think of their number. So when you get to capture them with their number in the background, to me, this is an epic card. It's almost brilliant to me. I don't know why I love that card. And I know you'll appreciate 99, and then it has his nickname, All Rise. They're not expensive cards, but they do it for me. They just do it for me. As a fan, I love it. And I know there's other cards. I don't know where I put all my cards, but it seems like maybe I thought I grabbed them, but there were others I had that they were going to show off their numbers on their back. I got another Acuna. And this one,
great card.
It's just a brilliant looking card. It's a short print, but it's just the red, the blues, going back to what I was talking about, the colors in the background with the green, but it has his number. And when he makes 13 famous, he doesn't have that many years in the league yet, but when you're going to think of him as 13, this card's going to speak more to me in the future. So sometimes a card like that speaks a lot to me. Oops. They all toppled over. I'll let Vince take over right now. I got to pick up some cards that fell here.
Well, I got two left before I got to jump off here. But this one is, again, just another favorite. Love the look of this. And, a great player, obviously. Reggie Jackson, 78 tops. And I love all the Yankees cards from 78. It seems like a lot of them were taken from the same exact game. But this one in particular, just that full swing, and I don't know if he swung and missed or if he just drove the ball somewhere or what have you, but I just love this Reggie card. It's just a favorite of mine. What can I say?
Vince, I think that's one of the best cards of the 70s. Like if you had a top 10 best cards of the 70s, that's easily in the top 5 in my book. I mean, it's the most probably, I don't know if the best player of the 70s, but certainly the most clutch player of the 70s in the position, the pose. I mean, it looks like he just hit the ball out of Tiger Stadium. That was when he was on the A's. But he's swinging. There's a couple cards of his where he's swinging, but that to me is the one where it really is him just wailing away at it. And that all-star badge is so cool. And I like the Yankees being in gold on it with the bottom and then the cursive. That's really neat too. I think it all works. I agree with you.
I have to tell you, Vince, as someone who saw him play, I always remember him touching that knee on the ground and having the dirt mark. And to capture that in that picture, I love that card. Not only that, I'm going to try to get it signed by him if I ever see him at a show or something. It's because you brought it out, but that's how I remember Reggie, is like that, getting that knee on the ground and smashing the daylights out of that ball. I love it. Good.
I think Reggie's also a legit big-time baseball card collector, too.
Is he?
Yeah, I think so.
I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Yep. So.
George, you're up. What do you got next?
I like this card. It's a big one, not physically big. I always wanted to buy one of these, an autographed Joe DiMaggio, and this is the pinnacle. Wow. But I like this. There's like 6 of these different poses, but I like this one the best. This one is he's round. It says the streak at the bottom right here. It says the streak. And it says June of 1949, June, certain date, June 29th, 1949. And he's just rounding the bag. It's one of those old school bags. The powder's going to puff up when he goes past it. And he is busting his tail around what appears to be first base. And the fact that it's autographed. But I just think this is a cool Joe DiMaggio card. This specific one, not that the others aren't wonderful, but I intentionally bought this copy because of that.
Wow. Mike Dunham is basically saying if you send, CV Baseball Card Collector, sorry. CV Baseball Card Collector is saying send 75 to Reggie's house and he'll sign it. Do you ever do TTMs? Any TTMs? No?
No, I just bought Topps certified autographs, fan favorites primarily, art Topps Archives, Topps Heritage, on card too. I'm very specific about on card autographs. I question the integrity of the ink on that sticker over a period of years and whether it'll just sort of disappear into nothing someday. I don't know. The sticker autos that are very common. But no, never did any TTMs. No.
My fear with TTMs is that you send it and they have like the maid sign it and they still keep the money or you hear the secretary signs it. So that's my only fear about going down that road. I'd rather go to a show and see them live, sign it. But
Yeah.
I think
George.
if I could just, I think with these older guys, if you were sending a card to Reggie in 1980, then you'd likely get the secretary sign it, and he'd probably just say, "Get the hell out of here," whatever, and you wouldn't even get your card back. But I think now, like the guys we grew up with are older. They really, I think, do sign, and they do it pretty readily, and they do it for very little money. I got Brooks Robinson to sign a couple cards. I don't think he's doing it anymore because he's older, but a couple years ago, I sent some cards to him, a 59 and a 75, and he signed them, and he got them back to me really quick. I joked around on my videos, he's way faster than PSA. So, but I sent a card to the Nolan Ryan Foundation for the first time a couple weeks ago, and I'm waiting to get that back. It was $75. I know Wade Boggs is really good about this. So is Ryan Sandberg. I think it's a great time to send people cards, as long as you're, if you lose the card, you lose the card or whatever. But I know there's certainly a whole culture of TTMers, and I have learned a lot from them before I started sending some of these cards off. I don't do it that much, but I do it some, and I'm really excited to see if I get the Nolan Ryan when it comes back, because it's a card that also has Tom Seaver's autograph on it.
Another thing on the topic of autographs, and we're talking about the looks, I feel that lately the players have gotten lazy because they'll just put their initials or they'll put a scribble lately. But the people from yesteryear, they take their time and they write out their whole name. And I feel like autographs were a lot more aesthetically pleasing in the past compared to now, especially when you look at some players who I can't think of offhand, but some players will just, it looks like chicken scratch, whatever they wrote. And I'm like, man, just take another second out and do something a little bit more artistic. But I don't know. Maybe I'm old fashioned like that. How do you feel about autographs? I guess past to present.
Talking to me?
Yeah, anyone. Yeah, Vince, go ahead.
How do I? So I like them, and when I go after them, like I said, I target the top certified on card variety, whether it's heritage or fan favorites or something along those lines, archives. I don't. The TTM thing is a whole other sort of segment of collecting. I'm not anything involved with that at all. I don't have the patience. But I haven't gone to a card show in like 34 years, so I don't do the in-person thing either. But I certainly do like them, and I have several. I mean, I have quite a few of them, on raw cards at that.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. Do you have anything else here, Vince? I'm not sure how many you have.
I have one. I do have one left. And by the way,
Okay.
John and Judy, yes, I do take my hat off. I do have hair, and I actually have shared pictures of myself and my wife on my YouTube feed in the past and Instagram. But if you don't pay attention, I guess you missed it because I since deleted it. So anyway, and this might be recency bias, but this is one that is a new favorite of mine, without a doubt.
Oh, nice.
Jimmy Brown rookie card.
I think you just picked that up, right?
I did just pick it up.
Yeah, I saw your video.
Before. But I just really, again, maybe just because it's new and I can't stop looking at it, but it's definitely a new
awesome
favorite
card.
of mine. And I've been picking up some football cards this year. In fact, the first couple of Friday Night Vintage basically has been football centric. I had that one post serial mantle card that I showed the other night, but other than that, it's been all football this year so far for the vintage showcases. And yeah, this one without a doubt, happy to have it. Like I said, it's hard to find centered. I mean, like the black and the white, if it's off centered a little bit, it, right? It doesn't, you don't hide the off centeredness of this card. And so I was lucky to be able to get this, and maybe because it had an ending time that was like a Sunday morning at like 11 a.m. might have helped me a little bit.
Yeah, you're not gonna find. I mean, finding a PSA 4 that looks like that. And I watched your video, and I've been looking at that card for 3 years, and it's just the centering is always the centering's bad, or his face is blurry, or there's just whiting in the background.
Right,
and that card is a killer for.
Yeah,
spectacular.
This little crimpy thing up here is what knocks it down, and maybe on the back there's some edge wear, but whatever. Yeah, so I just love this card now. So thought I'd show this one tonight to cap things off. I didn't think I'd actually show it. I thought we'd run out of time before I got to this one, but here it is. But that is the last card that I have as far as favorites are concerned and cards that speak to me. So is that it? Did I close it out?
No. George is next. I see him rifling. That's a great card, by the way. I just want to say it's when I saw your video, I was like, wow, he checked off so many boxes with eye appeal on that. You get like triple stars on that one. That's a great pickup.
I'm lucky. Just everything came together, and yeah, I'm just grateful. And now it's out of the way. I don't have to worry about it anymore. So
nice. All right, George. Let's see what you rifled for.
Got a couple cards. This is a card that speaks to me because it's got. I love the background. Again, Bowman doing the. He's sitting in the dugout. It's facing upward. It really gives a good perspective of things. You can even see the lights at the top of the stadium. And the autograph is probably a 10, honestly. Not that I'm an expert on autographs. It's a really clean Dobie autograph. So that card, as soon as I saw this card 3 years ago, I was like, I got to buy this card right now. So this is a card that I really enjoyed with the background. And this card obviously speaks to me. It's Burke Ross, Jackie Robinson, and it's
I'm jealous.
These cards are tough. They're hard to find. They're getting some love lately, but it's just a tough card. And there aren't that many Jackie issues where he's actually in the field and he's jumping here. It's usually just a pose, a batting pose, something like that. So this is one of my favorite cards, and has always spoke to me because I just think it's not just the topic; it's just the background. You can look at the stadium; you can see the scoreboard in the background, and there's something going on there. It might be posed, it might not. I think it is posed, but to me, it's a really, really neat card. So I'll end with that.
Yeah, great card.
Oh man, you guys pulled out some juggernauts. I'm ending it with a squeaky toy. That's basically what I'm ending it on. Look, I got a lot of my big boy cards in a safety deposit box, but I didn't want this to be a big boy presentation. I could have easily brought out my 53 Mantle, which is one of my favorite looking cards, but I think it would lose sight of what we're trying to do, and it's just show a card for how we appreciate it, and regardless of price or the name of the player. But this card right here is right up there. I love this card. It checks off every box for me. I told you I love the binary colors with the red, the blue. I love when they look like a boy in their early years, and because it's a kid's game. And when it's able to catch their boyish look in a card, that to me, I love it so much, because baseball will forever be a kid's game to me. And I think in this card, it just captures it. And this card does it for me every day of the week. I love this card. If I wasn't a Yankees fan who loved Mantle, I'd probably be a Braves fan who would love him, and Hank Aaron and every other Brave that was great. But I really love this card a lot. I regret I didn't get it in a higher grade, because maybe I would want it a little more centered. But to me, the colors pop. Registration is perfect. The black over here was neat, which is a big issue. So for the grade to have this looking neat that's what sold it for me. So I was willing to deal with a little off centering, but I guess we're ending it on a high note with some beautiful cards. And I basically want to thank everyone who joined us. And I hope you enjoyed it. George and Vince, thank you for coming on. I've been trying to have you for like 2 months, and we finally got together on the same schedule.
I'm elusive.
Yeah. You're like the great white buffalo.
Yeah, and I want to let you guys know we're watching the comment. I'm watching all the comments here. I love the comment. I'm just trying to grab cards. I know Vince is, and you are too. I really appreciate all the comments. I'm just watching them all as they go by.
I have to give credit to Rick. This is something I wanted to ask you, but kept forgetting. He wants to know if you're going to the National.
Well, what I can tell you this is I booked a hotel several months ago as a placeholder if I decide that I want to go. So, but will I go? It's still TBD.
Oh, Lord.
But I got the hotel booked.
Mythical man behind the curtain. I think we should be lucky that you finally came out. What did Joe do to have you come out behind the curtain?
He has compromising pictures of me that I said, no, you can't. And so I said, okay, I'll go on camera with you. No. We just, I think actually it was my idea.
Really?
Yeah, because Joe has been a longtime viewer of my channel and probably the first guy I would interact with. I don't really engage much, at least more so, at least back then, but him a little bit. And we had very similar collections for a while, very similar. I mean, they've kind of gone off in different ways, but still good. We collect what we collect, but I thought it'd be a good sort of battle. And it was he beat me, and I knew he would, but it was fun.
He beat you. I don't know, man. I mean, you've got a deep collection. Deep collection. Yeah, you guys are sitting on 100, and it's like the cards you're pulling out of like PSA 9s of, crazy stuff.
So the first video was a tough battle, and he eked out a victory. But the subsequent videos is like Sonny Corleone going to that toll booth over and over and over and over again is what that is, for Joe. So maybe not so bad, but I like to use that analogy, if you know The Godfather at all.
Sure.
Well, I just want to tell you, Vince, me, George, Don, John Mangini, Lou Rock, Bob, Lewis, and am I forgetting someone, George? It's going to be a bunch of us. We're going to be hanging out. You are going to be more than welcome if you make it out to AC. Hang out with us, have some beers. We're probably going to get the barbecue going, smoke some stoves, whatever. We're just going to be hanging out. So I hope you do make it out because I'm pretty sure you have fun hanging out with us.
I wear the hat on the video.
Will be there.
I won't wear my hat. I'll just kind of like sneak in. You want to know who it is, and I'll just be like some Joe that's a fan of the YouTube community, and I'm just there to hang out with people and, maybe, I don't know. But we'll see. Like I said, I have the hotel booked, but it's still TBD on whether or not I could actually pull it off. So
I almost forgot the other guys. Rick, Vintage I Bought Cards, and one of these days he's gonna come out from behind the curtain and come on a live stream. Mangini is challenging him to come out, and I don't know. It's gonna be a big question mark whether he does that. But for now, I thank you, Vince, for coming on with me. I hope this is just the first time out of many more. It was so much fun.
You do it again.
I would love to have you on again. Next time with maybe John Mangini, Lou Rock, Rick, hopefully maybe Don, other guys. But yeah, and shout out to Jim. Pick a Jim S. He was supposed to join us also. And at the last minute, things come up. He couldn't have us here, but you were with us in heart and spirit. Jim, miss you. But George, I got to thank you also. It was George's idea, by the way, to do this live stream. So I don't want to take any credit. It was his. I roll with it, and I provided the platform. So I want to thank everyone once again for coming. Vince, George, thank you for coming on with me and sharing some of your great, beautiful cards. And I hope you enjoyed it. Hit that like button, subscribe to Vince. If you aren't, it's NY Yanks Fan 7. And subscribe to George. It's Diamond Yard Sportscards. And I hope I'll see you on the next one. Have a good one.
Later, guys.
Take care.
Bye.
Good night.